I'm a part of the finance strategy and performance team at KPMG. We come under the umbrella of management consulting. We usually work around finance transformations, finance strategy, process optimization, implementation of all sorts. It's a very formal setup. It's something new. You will never imagine to, have a chat with the cabinet, some CEO, CFO turning up, and you're just there in the room sitting with them and figuring out what's happening. So that's pretty fruitful. There's never a dull moment. There's no point of monotony in your entire job. Like today, I've got 4 different engagements to work around. So it's quite fun. So highly recommend it if people don't like boring stuff. It'll keep you on your feet.
Obviously, coming to Australia as an international student, it's still a challenge, right? Especially if you're kind of moving away from home for the first time. You've got to work a job, pay the bills, look after yourself, build a new network, new friends. Plus, then this whole job search thing.
You got to know where you stand with your own priorities, because that's what will define you and your future. I've had my fair bit of learning from all these things, because my time management was pretty skewed on the negative side, because I didn't understand, should I study too much? Should I not study too much? Should I work too much, make money? I think it comes to you later. And when you strike the right balance, I think you're a little more focused. When you definitely come to a new country, there is always a lot of ambiguity as to how certain things are to be done. Talk to people. That's very important. And if they've done something better, seek guidance. And I think Mackenzie is pretty good at navigating those things and letting you know how to do that.
I think a lot of people watching this are wondering, how did Arnav manage to, after graduating, get, I think it was 7 or 8 offers?
Yeah, 8.
But it wasn't always straightforward.
Not at all. It wasn't at all. Conversion was nothing. Barely anything. You remember one of the firms that rejected, and then again we revisited their office for another interview, and then everything happened. But it wasn't easy, to say the least. There was something that I had applied earlier, and then I started to get response when I started to reach out to people. But a lot of it revolved around a different strategy. Rather than, applying through a website, going through tens of thousands of layers of filtering, whatever there is, touching base with a decision maker does make a hell lot of difference. And I think that's also a cheat code, but it really depends on how you work around it. You either make it or break it in your first impression. Not everybody has the time to say like, hey, let's catch up. No, it doesn't work. I think you have to make a conversation steer that way. So they are really interested to have a chat.
You put in so much work, strengthening your communication skills, your analytical skills.
Yes.
I don't remember your exact words, but it was something like I'm not sure about this networking thing. I was trying to push you for ages, like just give it a try.
There was a mental barrier, I was like, how can this work? I think it's everybody. I've had a chat with a couple of my friends about it, but it doesn't seem real at first till the time you start to get results. But when you do, you get that kick. Like, okay, you can do more. And then you keep doing it. So that's what I did. I was very hell-bent on following the normal procedure, because that's what I was aware of from the very beginning. Since Mackenzie has got some experience around this, I think his word is supreme.
One of the hardest parts of my job is trying to convince people to network.
I think there is a gap in our understanding of recruitment, especially the people who start in careers. Because the one thing that's been instilled in our psychology is there is a certain way, and that's how we go about it, But it's not always the way. There's a lot of flexibility in firms who hire. And if you know the situation of a team, you'll be better equipped to see your chances in that firm. So this is a very good way to do it. I think this is the shortest way to get somewhere, as Mackenzie rightly says. So yeah, it's a little bit of fine-tuning to your mindset and maybe having a new perspective on this, but it is super insightful and helpful. Try it, fail, attempt, do whatever you want to do. But I think it really does work. To your surprise, with the leadership I've been exposed to, with the partners and directors that we talk to on a daily basis, they love initiative. They love it. They're like another person who is just like, hey, what do you guys do? I'm very curious to know what you work on. Why are you here? They really like that. That initiative is something that really drives you to, succeed. I think that's how you drive excellence as well. I had roughly 2 months after graduation wherein I was pretty lost as to what should I do, because I had assessment centers, I had various things happening. But there was the offers that I got initially were pretty disappointing. not in line with my aspirations. And the ones that I wanted to do, they got me till the very end and then just left me hanging. And there was this one learning where I was trying to evaluate where am I going wrong, and I really couldn't do that because I did not know where my gaps lie. Am I lacking in something? And that's where I wanted to seek assistance, and that's where McKinsey came in. So while we were walking through the process, I had to manage, definitely there was work, I had to pay my bills and all of that. But I seriously tried to take in consideration the timeline that I'm working on. Because the more I delay, I'm just reducing my own chances of getting employed soon. So I worked around a premise that I need to sign an offer letter as soon as possible. That was my agenda. That's how I got focused. And, I saw people getting, hey, I've joined this, I've joined that. LinkedIn was just popping and glowing like anything. And I was like, what am I doing? I didn't have the best oration skills or the writing skills to sound very happy, energetic, excited, because this was one of the very major pain points in my engagement with McKinsey as well. So I've learned that, and through that process, I think I've come across as a much more likable candidate, and that's how I have worked through my process. So I think positive attitude really helps. It's never bad to be ambitious as well. Make it a point to also ask feedback if you ever get a chance from the person who's interviewing you. One thing that you should always, a pro tip, always remember your interviewer's name. It's gold. Just remember, reach out to them, have a chat, say, hey, what's up? Get a feedback. He will like that. That's how I got another interview of the same person rejected me once. I'm just spilling some beans here, but it's a very good thing. I never thought that I would be getting a shot here because hiring criteria at this firm are a little stringent compared to other ones, but it did work out. And I have no regrets, honestly, because I'm genuinely enjoying the job I'm doing right now. KPMG, how do I put it? The people were very warm. You sense the culture of a firm when you initially interact with them. I've never had such a warm interview with any of the other firms. Very welcoming people, very understanding people. That made a difference in my perspective and really changed course for me. I think that's one of the major reasons I joined KPMG. And until date, I think there's no hesitation in me to go and chat with the partner, or it's just they don't even sit at one place, just keep changing the desk every day as well. So I think that flexibility and leniency that comes in, gives you space to learn. And I wanted that.
So any advice for people who are thinking about grad jobs or they're in the program, how do they make the most out of it? And what would you say to them?
The most critical aspect of this is for the person to realize what that process is, to understand from start what do they need to do, how well do they need to do so that they reach all their targets one by one. So whenever you derive something good in terms of value out of this course, is something that will teach you more about yourself than you trying to get a job. Because the underlying aspect here is that they've given you something to work on, right? You know what you're doing, but how well you apply it in real time will make that difference. Because in real life, I don't want to deviate from the topic, but in real life, how things work is clarity of thought really defines you. And once you're very clear on your approach to do a certain number of things, I think having resources to capitalize on is something that you should be very grateful for. So McKinsey by himself is a pretty good resource if you want to have that finesse in your things that you're doing. Be a very self-taught person, because in the job you got to be very self-taught. So with the course, it's designed in a manner that suits everybody, but I think it's very case-to-case basis as to what resources actually you pull out of it. The only recommendation I will have is to have a game plan, because if you don't have a game plan, you'll be lost. And do have a timeline. Like 1 month, I need an offer. When you're doing something, do it wholeheartedly. Don't give in half effort into it. If you're making a cover letter, put your heart and soul into it, make it the best you can, and then move on from it. And don't get disheartened, man. This world is too big. And I'm telling you this because I was also disheartened. I mean, you just have to get up.